everybody. Bill McDermott alongside Ty Keel. Welcome again to the Gateway Television Network. It's indoor soccer as the host side, St. Louis Ambush, entertain 14-time indoor champion, the San Diego Sockers. And Ty, one of the things we have to look for, your theme over our last couple of games has been, this is the 5th home game. The Ambush is 1-3. It's time to get some points at home.
Well, it's true. It's a very difficult schedule overall. The fact is the Ambush have not been dominant at home. They did get a home victory last time we were on the air. I think important. They have to build on that confidence. But they have the skills and the teamwork to do it. They lost last night. Can they turn it around? This, as a player, you love this. You lose last night, you get a chance right away to turn things around.
Last night, Ty mentioned St. Louis loses to Chicago. Likewise, San Diego, they're up in Missouri. They lose to the Missouri Comets. I think Real Madrid might lose to the Missouri Comets this year. But an excellent opportunity to get back into the flow of things. And now, making his professional debut, Adnan Gabelic from the St. Louis University Billikens.
Gabelic, a very skillful player, tight spaces. The indoor game should suit him, no question about it. And this is a team looking for someone that can help keep possession because this field is so short, the counterattacks are so quick, you cannot give turnovers at midfield. They end up becoming deadly to you.
And Jeff DiMaria will move up to midfield tonight for the St. Louis Ambush. Darryl Duran said we'd like to see him get more of the ball. So we're about to get underway here at the Family Arena. St. Louis Ambush indoor soccer as the home side Ambush take on the visiting San Diego Sockers. As I mentioned just a moment ago, they have been prolific, Ty, in any form of indoor soccer, any league. 14 titles to their credit. And straight away off the opening center off, it's Greg Crook, the goalkeeper, clearing it. Looking for Blake Gardell for the St. Louis Ambush, attired in all black. San Diego, as is their custom over the years, blue and yellow. Greg Crook, who's been really playing well, I think, so far for the St. Louis Ambush. And here's one of the troublesome spots. A giveaway in their own end. Shot just going wide from number 32, Jeff Hughes, for the visiting Sockers. As I mentioned, San Diego loses last night to the Missouri Comets, who remain undefeated. They are 9-0, the Missouri Comets.
They are a machine.
They are really playing well. They're playing here at the Family Arena for the next home game for the St. Louis Ambush on January 3rd.
Definitely worth seeing their particular brand. It's a cohesive unit that is held together and really dominated.
San Diego now just content to keep it. Both teams playing last night. Jeff DiMaria told me prior to the game, you know, it's real simple about this sport. You got to try to stay fit somehow, some way, for games just like this, back-to-back. The Ambush deep in their own end. Here is the aforementioned Jeff DiMaria coming out of his own backfield. Whereas number 8 for the St. Louis Ambush, just his 3rd game this year, back on, Chad Vandegrift. And the goalkeeper, Greg Crook, rolls it to his feet. Player of the week on the team of the week last week was number 21, Chad Vandegrift. This is Greg Crook in the center circle now with the ball at his feet. Joseph Magala and Darryl Duran told me that San Diego immediately tries to get 4 people behind the ball. That's exactly what they did there. Sockers in possession out in their own half of the field. This is their goalkeeper, Ty, Chris Toth. If that name sounds familiar, it should. Zoltan Toth's son. And prior to the game, I asked the head coach, Phil Salvaggio, how's he looking? How's the pedigree? He said he's going to be better than his father. So number 31 is Chris Toth. This is number 77, Nick Pereira, for the visiting Sockers off the near post boards. Picked out cleanly by the goalkeeper, Greg Crook.
Most folks would remember Zoli, the goalie, Zoltan Toth, is what he went by. And what a wonderful player, not only goalkeeper, with the ball at his feet.
He was very good with the ball at his feet.
As good as Slobo.
Oh, positively.
Yeah. Maybe better because I think Toth had a better left foot.
That's sure. He was a 2-footed player for sure. And very calm and composed.
Yeah, wonderful skills.
Let's see if his son is cut from the same cloth. He sends a long ball, looking for Nick Pereira. Nick Pereira just over the top of the crossbar, goes out of play. Nicely flatted, good long ball out of the backfield from Chris Toth, looking for number 77, Nick Pereira. That is Greg Crook. Ambush goalkeeper, he's from Columbia, nearby Columbia, Illinois. Crook out of his backfield, it's given away to the visiting Sockers. Raimundo Reza. San Diego, Greg Crook at the near post at that save. Off the foot of number 77, Nick Pereira, who is very troublesome for the San Diego Sockers. 12 goals, 15 assists. Adnan Gabelic on now for this Ambush.
Crook robbed Pereira, pun intended.
Evan McNeely looking for Raimundo Reza. Back to the goalkeeper. This is Chris Toth. Over on the right flank for the attacking Raimundo Reza. Evan McNeely. Manny Forbes trying to get forward. And there will indeed be a foul whistled up against number 20, Evan McNeely. And he'll get 2 minutes for that. An early power play for the home side St. Louis Ambush.
Manny Forbes just too quick for Herrera there. And drawing the penalty kick. Herrera really thought he had him closed down, but he's got that instant burst of speed that got him into the open, and then the contact came late. Clearly a 2-minute penalty.
Forbes in our prior games has been very convincing with their speed, attacking at people, and getting in some very troublesome spots for the defense. This is Elvir Kefedzic. Richard Schmerman, Kefedzic at the top of the diamond on this man advantage unit. Number 3 is Greg Kranz. Breaks loose to the goalkeeper, Toth. Chris Toth from Fallbrook, California. A long clearance out of his backfield.
Well, Bill, the last time we were here, the Ambush defeated Detroit, and it was a pretty entertaining match. And Vandergriff was a key performer, and the maturity also of Jeff DiMaria added a whole new dimension to this Ambush team.
Added a totally different dimension, did the presence of Jeff DiMaria. This is not just wide, hit off the near post, as a matter of fact. Nicely struck by number 3, Greg Kranz. Looking to go in deep. For the St. Louis Ambush, the ball on the ground into that striker. Knocked out of play, corner kick for the St. Louis Ambush. 10:45 remaining in this, the first quarter, still no score. Forbes, yes! Into the opposite side netting. Number 20, Manny Forbes. We told about the fact that he could be troublesome for the defense just because he shows up from out of nowhere. That's exactly what took place there.
Well, Forbes deservedly gets the goal since it was a trip due to his quickness that set up the man advantage situation. The Ambush here patient, not frustrated. He just followed up after the ball had initially been blocked, and good instinct to just pounce on that loose ball and bury it.
Blake Gardell and Manny Forbes combining as the Ambush goes on top by a score of 1-0. Good, sure finishing from number 20, Manny Forbes. Off the corner kick, so the Ambush goes on top by a score of 1-0.
That was a pretty tough angle.
That was an extremely difficult angle. Yep. Almost standing at the corner spot was number 20, Manny Forbes. Wayne Sinclair across the goal mouth. Picked out by the San Diego defense, and on the attack they get forward. On the dribble, however, they lose it. O'Dane Sinclair doing the defending, getting back to defend. Corey Dow for Adnan Gabeljic across the face! Yes, it's there! Jeff DiMaria, 2 Farmer Billikens combined for a second on the evening for the St. Louis Ambush.
Not bad for Gabeljic. First professional match. He's already got a point setting up that goal, but that goes back to O'Dane Sinclair.
Exactly.
An attacking player, one of your top offensive players, one of your top point getters, coming back, doing some defensive work to strip the ball, cause the turnover, creates this opportunity for the Ambush to get up by 2.
Gabeljic right across the goal mouth to Jeff DiMaria, and that's the second of the evening. Good work between Gabeljic and DiMaria. Ty, you bring up a very valuable point, a very pertinent point to this sport. In indoor soccer, you can't just be a forward. You got to work both ways. You got to work both ways.
It's up and back, and yeah, you can't afford a luxury player. Steve Jungle was the last luxury player in the indoor sport.
And I think his teammates just said,
"Oh, we'll defend for
okay,
him."
Don't defend." There was Jeff DiMaria scoring the second of the inning, so the Ambush goes on top early here against this squad, the visiting San Diego Sockers, who, by the way, are in first place in the Pacific Division. They're 6-2 overall. And the Missouri Comets, Ty, you talked about them just a moment ago, 9-0. They have been prolific this year.
Unblemished record, and a team that, when we talk about what the Ambush needs to do, possess the ball, not give up the ball in your own half of the field, be able to capitalize on the other team's mistakes. I mean, Missouri Comets, they do that every shift.
They do that continually. And they show it with a 9-0 record. Long clearance by Greg Crook. Headed back by number 20, Evan McNeely. Falls for number 8, Zé Roberto, the Brazilians. This is McNeely. at his own yellow line. Zé Roberto at the left point. Long ball out of the backfield looking for Craig Childs, who has 18 goals and 5 assists. He is a prolific finisher. Number 37, Craig Childs. Zé Roberto attempted that shot. Here's Manny Forbes. Again showing that speed in the open field. Past the center circle on the dribble. Here's Forbes. Farka Fedzic.
St. Louis fans will get to see the Missouri Comets Saturday night. That's just 6 days from now.
January 3rd, the next televised game for the St. Louis Ambush. Missouri Comets in town. Ambush tried to play it in deep to that left corner flag. Rebounds to Vandegrift, who plays as Greg Crook. Looking for O'Dane Sinclair on the rebound. Nice attempt from O'Dane Sinclair.
Tough to get enough on that header.
Yeah, there was a feat in and of itself just to get it on goal.
Yeah.
Foul whistled up against the Ambush. Free kick for the visiting Sockers. 8:48 remaining in the first quarter. 2-0 the Ambush on top. This is Craig Childs, as I mentioned, 18 goals, 5 assists for San Diego so far in this 2014-15 season. Evan McNeely for San Diego at the left point. San Diego content to keep it. Try to find some openings. Wait for people to get into open spaces. Eduardo Velez on a dribble. Shot at the near post. Cut out very nicely by Greg Crook. Alertly, cleanly. His toss, he was looking for either O'Dane Sinclair or Di Maria. Shot at the near post. Goes in between the legs of Greg Crook by number 77, Nick Pereira.
Nothing Crook could do. The problem there was Crook was firing the ball on the counterattack, distributing it to players that were headed for the bench.
Yeah, simply didn't see it.
It caused a turnover. So the turnover, and then this is nice work, and it's hit just first time, side of the foot. The fact that it's hit first time does not allow Greg Crook to get set.
And number 77, Nick Pereira, scores his 13th goal of the year to go along with 15 assists. He plays up top with Craig Childs, who I mentioned has 18 goals and 5 assists. They're a difficult duo to handle. Kibaljic couldn't quite bring that ball down. Throw. Kick in for the Sockers. Number 16 is Eduardo Velez. This is the goalkeeper, Chris Toth. Long ball looking for the goal scorer, Nick Pereira.
See Manny Forbes coming back to make a good defensive play there. Another forward, just like Sinclair earlier.
A blast by number 16, Eduardo Velez. With a good save by Greg Crook. Here's Forbes again in the open field. Off the left wing, draws 3 defenders. Finds the open person, it's number 23, Axel Duarte. This is Chad Vandegrift. Duarte from Caracas, Venezuela, but his intercollegiate soccer at Lindenwood. Greg Crook, long ball to the left wing corner flag. Headed down by Velez to the goalkeeper Toth. Momentarily bobbles, now covers up. Shane Butler and Doug Wolf, the referees in charge tonight down on the field. Charge Major, Karen Swanner, in the bench area. Raimundo Reza, his shot blocked by Vandegrift. Cleared, but only momentarily, by Corey Dahl. Dahl again, who we saw the last couple games, has a prolific left foot. And we're still on top by a score of 2-1, 6:49 remaining in the first quarter. Craig Childs.
Good challenge there by Vandegrift to force a turnover. Great tackle.
Good defending by number 21, Chad Vandegrift, who gets more comfortable all the time, as you accurately pointed out, Ty, playing indoor soccer.
Well, Bill, you mentioned Corey Dowell. By this time, the last match against Detroit, he already had like 3 hammer shots.
Absolute bombs away. Greg Crook attempts to cut this out. He does with his body, then clears long to his opposite number, the other goalkeeper, Chris Toth. Mike Mercuriali. Childs leaves it. Back defending is Jeff Hughes. San Diego cuts it out, gets it forward again. The person at number 9. Shiki Luna just in behind Greg Crook. Almost eluded him.
Yeah, caught a piece of the post, I think.
Manny Forbes couldn't get out of his own yellow line in the midfield area. Zé Roberto for the Sockers. Now Manny Forbes again. Good early ball from O'Dane Sinclair. Sinclair on the dribble. Looking for Jeff DiMaria, came up out of the backfield. Good composure from DiMaria. Yes, it's there! O'Dane Sinclair, simply by hanging around long enough. David Paul made it possible by keeping the ball alive inside the defensive area of the San Diego Sockers, and the ambush goes up 3-1.
When this attack started, Sinclair had 3 players to beat. San Diego's so good at getting players behind the ball, but then an intelligent run, a late run by DiMaria on the left-hand side helped keep it alive, and then it was fortunate for Sinclair that it did pop right back out to his right foot. He knew what to do with it.
Shot initially taken by number 9, Elvira Kefejic. The rebound falls directly to the feet of O'Dane Sinclair. 3-1 now for the home side ambush. 5:20 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, DiMaria's run really created it. And the patience really of Sinclair to wait for DiMaria to make that run. To be able to hold the ball against 3 defenders, which he did for a couple seconds for DiMaria to get into the open position.
When you've drawn 3 defenders, somebody's open, and Jeff was. Greg Crook with another acrobatic save.
Really good stop.
Anthony Medina.
That stop tougher than it looked because of the spin and the bounce.
San Diego with everybody now beyond their own half of the field. Big target man is Nick Pereira. He keeps it, got his back to goal. Eduardo Velez for the visiting San Diego Sockers. In on the ground looking for Pereira. Knocked out of play by the ambush. Back in play by the Sockers. Eduardo Velez looking to send it in for Anthony Medina. Cut out by Greg Crook. Number 6 for the ambush, the captain, Chris Mattingly from Manny Forbes. Seeing a lot more time is number 20, Manny Forbes. Immediately goes at goal in a dribble, does Forbes. For Blake Ardell. Cleared momentarily by Chris Toth. Breaking through with his Matthias Kruger. Kruger, 1 against 3. Loses it on the dribble. Forbes early for Odell. Vandergriff joins. Richard Schmerman now, who, like Corey Dow, has a good left foot as well. San Diego cuts it out, takes it away on the giveaway. Number 87 going forward is Chad Haggerty. With a long clearance by Greg Crook, directly to Zay Roberto. Vandergriff heads it down looking for Kefedzic.
Hey, that was a big tackle by Vandergriff just a moment ago. That's a sure goal for San Diego if he doesn't slide over and just get a piece of the ball. He also got the player, but the fact that he got the ball first, no penalty, no foul call.
3 against 1 as San Diego was off to the races there, looking for their second. 3-1 the ambush on top. 3:20 remaining in the first quarter. Jeff DiMaria toe pokes it for Kefedzic. Vandergriff back for number 9 of there, Kefedzic. Bit too tight of a space there and broken up by number 87, Chad Haggerty. He loses it, however, again to Vandergriff. Haggerty back to get it for Zé Roberto. DiMaria heading clear. Kick in for the Sockers. Coached by Phil Salvaggio.
Again, having DiMaria as really the center of play for you. He's playing midfield today. He can help defensively as he did there on that header. He can help keep possession. Obviously, he can get forward in the attack. He helped create the last goal for the ambush.
He's the ideal component. The ideal component! And there it is on the quick replay. Number 16, Eduardo Velez gets a second for the Sockers. They're back into it now. Good, calm, finishing, composed. Number 16, Eduardo Velez.
Yeah, Velez makes no mistake, and this is a pretty well orchestrated play. It draws in one defender, and it's a dummy. And then when the ball is hit first time at that near side, Crook not in position yet.
Yep. Jeff Hughes lets the ball roll. Number 16, Velez strikes it first time, gets his 8th goal year. 3-2 now. Ambush on top of the San Diego Sockers. Axel Duarte. Corey Dow. That's the goalkeeper, Greg Crook. Tried to send it long, got into the midfield circle for Manny Forbes. This ball knocked out of play by the Sockers.
You know, Bill, philosophically, I have nothing against high-scoring games, but I'd rather not see the Ambush get involved in a high-scoring match with San Diego. I want to see this pace slow down a little bit. I want to see the Ambush create more possession, slow down this pace. A shooting match against a San Diego team, I don't think the Ambush comes out on top.
You don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
If nothing else, Ty, just look at the stats. San Diego has 69 goals.
There you go.
The Ambush has 33. You don't want any part of that.
No. What you want to do right now is get more confidence in possession and really start to frustrate and stifle the San Diego team.
Playing their second game in as many nights away from home. Ambush at home tonight. They played last night in Chicago. Anand Gabelic. Cleared eventually by Evan McNeely. Ambush applying pressure.
Toth showing the good foot skills that his dad was known for. Zoli the goalie.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree on that particular play. Calm, composed. Sure, knock it back to me as I'm standing on my own goal line.
Bill, if I'm not mistaken, it goes back more than to Zoli the goalie. It goes back a third generation. His dad was also, his grandfather was also a great goalkeeper.
Exactly.
And the Ambush strike quickly.
Boy, did the Elvira Kefedzic. Puts the Ambush on top by a score of 4-2. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
We've got a real St. Louis and Bosnian flavor
exactly.
to the point getting tonight.
Here's a long ball to the backfield for Kefedzic.
Real nice turn. Good shielding. Keeps the defender away. And really that's one that Toth will not want to see again, getting beat through the legs at the near post.
So a long ball out of the backfield. Elvira Kefedzic capitalizes, kept it very nicely, protected it very nicely.
Real nice turn.
Chris Mattingly on the head clearance. Jeff Hughes for the Sockers getting forward. This is Pereira at the near post corner flag. Eventually cleared by Chris Mattingly. Zé Roberto cuts it out though. On return pass for Cheeky Luna. Rebounds off the near post boards. Handled very cleanly by Gray Crook. Similar toss to the one prior. This one falls all the way to the left wing corner flag looking for Blake Ardell. San Diego out of their own backfield. This is Zé Roberto.
This is an important final 60 seconds of this first quarter. You know, at this pace, it's going to be a 24-goal game, and that's not what you want. You want to frustrate San Diego, especially now.
Good defending by the Ambush. This is Blake Ardell. Calm and composed was number 81, Blake Ardell. Not in the backfield from Manny Forbes. With his first touch, goes into the open field. That's where he's most comfortable. Number 20, Manny Forbes on a dribble. Off the near post boards, looking for Ardell. San Diego out of their own backfield now. This is number 77, Nick Pereira. Pereira for the Sockers, waiting for the run of number 87, Chad Haggerty. Step for Zé Roberto in a center circle. 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. As Ty just mentioned, can the Ambush close this out with a 2-goal cushion? At the near post boards, Greg Crook cuts out yet another ball.
Really courageous play at that near post. I mean, he's exposing his face and his head as he comes straight out for the ball to cut it out.
Diving at the feet of Anthony Medina. The giveaway to Di Maria. Early ball for Sinclair, just past that near post. Good early ball from Jeff Di Maria. Ambush gets forward again looking for Di Maria, and there's the whistle.
What a smart pass by Di Maria there, and Sinclair could not convert it.
Superbly done by Jeff Di Maria, and as you pointed out, Ty, adds so much to this team. The veteran leadership, obviously, keeps the ball at midfield. When he played his first game last week, first game on television that we did, his first game, he was calm, collected, coming out of the back, give that quality ball to the backfield. He's a difference maker.
Well, Bill, you know who Al Trost is, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. Teammate of yours, National Soccer Hall of Fame member, and the type of player who you know was so unselfish, and who told me one time his definition of a great player was a player who made the players around him better. Mm-hmm. And that's what Jeff Di Maria does.
He certainly does. He certainly does.
And so did Al, by the way.
Yes, he did. It clearly made me a better player. But another definition of time when I was a good player is one who at any time during the course of any game can alter its outcome.
Right. And Al Trost could do that.
Yes,
for
he
sure.
could.
I watched him do that. I was a kid on the sidelines.
On a regular basis.
But my definition also of a player that is a game changer, which is what we're discussing, is a guy who wants the ball in those pressure situations. He wants it. He's not hiding. He says, give me the ball, I'll make it happen.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me. I'll make myself available. Give it to me. And that's known by his teammates prior to the game starting.
Yeah.
We want to find player A, B, C, D. We want to find Trost. We want to find Di Maria.
Yeah.
Get it to him as quickly. San Diego Soccer's case in point. How many times did they give the ball to Kaz Dana when they wanted to get it forward?
Well, he's not going to give it away, number one. Two, things are going to happen because he sees its vision. He sees the game so well. One of my favorites, and I know one of your favorites from the Brazilian World Cup teams of 82 and 86, Roberto Falcao. Falcao, it looked like he was just walking most of the time.
Strolling
However,
through it.
His vision, his ability to see the entire field, he was quoted as saying after asked what makes a great midfielder, he goes, a great midfielder must have 22 pairs of eyes.
And he did. Playing on that 82 Brazil team, I think you'll concur, the best Brazil team that never won a World Cup.
Yeah, so attractive and just so artistic that they were moving the ball.
Matter of fact, last night I was flipping around the cable and they showed the 82 World Cup final, as a matter of fact, where Paolo Rossi did all the damage for Italy.
Yeah. Was Careca, was he in the team?
Careca played then.
What a great striker he was.
So in between the first and second quarters, that's Ty Keogh's voice you just heard. I'm Bill McDermott. Ambush on top by a score of 4-2. This is the very outset of the second quarter. O'Dane Sinclair now for the St. Louis Ambush. Corey Dowell. Chris Mattingly. Chad Haggerty defending from Louisville, Kentucky for the San Diego Sockers. And Toth gets a hand to it. Turns it away from the opposite post. Good week by Corey Dowell to keep that for Chris Mattingly. Duarte on with Mattingly. This is O'Dane Sinclair, who's comfortable with his back to play.
Well, the Ambush closed out that first quarter, keeping that 2-goal lead and maybe trying to stem some of this momentum. And also, let's keep this a lower scoring game.
Exactly. Ty continues to reiterate that because the past example has shown that San Diego gets up and down and up and down. And you don't want to try to match him doing that.
You don't want to open up the play. You want to keep it closed and tight and not let them really get into high gear.
And especially playing your second game in as many nights.
Well, true, because you don't want to have to make that extra running that would involve if you do get stretched out.
Raimundo Reyes for his goalkeeper Chris Toth. Daniel in the blue tops, blue shorts, yellow socks. The Ambush attired in all black for this home match. In this league, you've played 10 home games. This is the 5th one for the St. Louis Ambush. 1-3 here so far at the St. Charles Family Arena. That lone victory against the Detroit Waza Flow on our last telecast on the Gateway Television Network. Joining late and shooting it just wide was number 16, Eduardo Velez. Ambush out of their own backfield now. Elvir Kvedzic out on the left flank. He scored a goal just a moment ago. On the ground looking for Blake Gardell. Good calm composure by number 37, Craig Childs, back to his goalkeeper. San Diego can't quite get it out of their own backfield. They give it away. This is Manny Forbes for the Ambush. The early shot. Blocked by San Diego. They can't get it out of their own backfield. Kvedzic tries to dig it out. Does too. Trying to keep it at his feet was Elvir Kvedzic. San Diego eventually wins it. Long through ball, and Gray Crook very quick and alert to get onto that ball.
Crook reading the situation and making that decision instantaneously.
And I think you'll agree, Ty, most importantly for the goalkeeper, when he made that decision initially, he stuck with it. He was going to cut that ball out no matter what, and he did just that.
Otherwise, he's in no man's land.
Exactly. Long attempt to ball out of his own backfield by the goalkeeper. Chris Toth goes out of play. Kick in for the Ambush, who are on top by a score of 4-2. 12:43 remaining in the first half. Adnan Gabeljic playing his very first professional game.
Has 2 assists, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not officially, but certainly in my book.
By making his presence felt offensively just by his size and his mobility. Chris Mattingly, the team captain. Looking for the run of number 5, Corey Dowell, San Diego. Attempts to clear. Di Maria cuts it out, shoots just wide of the opposite post.
push along the boards there.
Mike Mercuriali follows Gabelich. Adnan Gabelich, who last year after graduating from St. Louis University had a couple tryouts with MLS teams. Didn't catch on. Now playing for his home side, St. Louis Ambush. And there is Gabelich. Good on the ball. Long ball to the backfield looking for Nick Pereira. On the left flank, it's number 77, Pereira, across the goal mouth. Crook cuts it out, and Adnan Gabelich all the way back on his own goal line does the clearance. Zé Roberto for the San Diego Sockers, just beyond the center circle. New players on, Manny Forbes and Vandegrift. Too many players, as a matter of fact. You cannot play with 6 field players. Ain't gonna work, guys. And Shane Butler saw that immediately, as did Doug Wolf. So 4-2 right now in favor of the home side Ambush. Elvira Kafedzic made it 4-2 just a moment ago.
The Ambush need to suck it up here. It's a mental error anytime you end up with too many men on the field. You got to now hustle, scrap, fight, battle, so that hopefully you don't get punished for it.
Keep it 4-2. This lead seesawed last night when the San Diego Sockers were playing the Missouri Comets. They eventually lose it. The Sockers do by a score of 10-7. Ambush lose in Chicago by a score of 5-4 to the Chicago Mustangs.
After leading.
Yeah, exactly. Shot at the near post, blocked by the Ambush defense. Falls directly to Jeff Hughes at the right point for the Sockers. Here's one of your goal scorers, Eduardo Velez. Good calm composure by the visiting Ambush. Shot that could be struck first time. He gets a couple touches, does number 16, Eduardo Velez. Back in from Chiqui Luna. This is Velez again at the yellow line. Eduardo Velez tried to knock it in deep. Looking for Pereira. Velez again, this time to the left point player. This is Chiqui Luna. Velez just outside the tip of the penalty area. Very calm and methodic are the San Diego Sockers at the feet of number 77, Nick Pereira. Greg Crook takes it directly off his feet.
Two big blocks there. First, Vandegrift, another one by Mattingly, so far killing off this penalty.
You know, Dane Sinclair now doing a wonderful job of keeping the ball, taking off valuable seconds. He fouls in the process, does number 12, O'Dane Sinclair.
Yeah, he's physical. The ball along the boards, he's got the forearms, the elbows, he's got everything going.
And he is a worker, number 12, O'Dane Sinclair. Rookie of the Year last year. 12 goals and 12 assists. 9:59 remaining in the first half. San Diego still in the power play. They have the man advantage. Shot at the near post, cut out and blocked by number 6, Chris Mattingly, the team captain.
Yeah, so far Mattingly, Vandegrift been excellent on this penalty killing situation.
Another block by number 21, Chad Vandegrift. Good defending by the Ambush. Chris Toth. Eduardo Velez. 7 goals coming into tonight's game. He's got his 8th. There's a blast just wide of the opposite post for number 32, Jeff Hughes.
That ball was moving.
It was moving. Hughes just wide of the opposite post. Another opportunity for Hughes. Good sure hands again from Greg Crook.
Yeah, quick reaction and no rebound.
And that is the absolute key. Long ball in the air from Greg Crook. Headed back by Evan McNeely. Crook again, who's very active tonight so far for the Ambush. Tried to send a ball long for DeMarie on the toss. He eludes him, goes to the goalkeeper, Toth. Was Toth for Zé Roberto. Sockers simply knocking it around in their own backfield, waiting for the open player. He comes to show, number 87, Chad Haggerty.
This is better defensive organization by the Ambush. They are frustrating San Diego. Look how San Diego has no clear options as they try to bring it out of their own end.
There's nobody available in the center circle. They're cutting balls out early, and they're making San Diego play away from home.
There's some frustration right there.
Exactly, right there. You see number 20, Evan McNeely, motioning for players to show. Greg Crook with another magnificent save. Crook again.
I think a handball on Di Maria, although
Looked to be.
you could argue whether it was intentional or not, but as he slid and threw his body, the ball did make contact with Di Maria's arm.
Free kick now for the Sockers. Dangerously close to the goal mouth. Zay Roberto for number 77. Nick Pereira, who struck it first time. Alert goalkeeping again by Greg Crook.
Couldn't quite hold that one, but it was enough to keep it out.
Evan McNeely for the Sockers. For Zé Roberto. In the center circle now, it's Zé Roberto for McNeely. San Diego calm and composed and very content to keep it.
Ambush content to let them keep
Yes,
it
they
since
are.
Ambush have the 2-goal lead.
Foul whistled up against number 23, Axel Duarte. Duarte, who played for FC Bordeaux earlier this year. They played their home games at St. Louis University High School. Free kick now for the Sockers. Over to its number 20, Evan McNeely. Tried descending early was Craig Childs. Di Maria blocks it. Falls all the way to the goalkeeper, Toth. Craig Childs again, 12 goals, 15 assists to his credit so far. Local player from San Diego playing for the Sockers. Ball to the left wing corner flag. And for the aforementioned Craig Childs, this is McNeely. Anthony Medina, another player from California, from El Cajon, California. Zé Roberto for the Sockers.
Well, El Cajon's a suburb of San Diego. It'd be like saying he's from Chesterfield.
You're all close by. Zé Roberto.
So the Ambush escape their mental error of having too many players on the field, kill that penalty off. Mark that in your book because that could be a pivotal point in this match that they kill that off.
Because they were playing very well at the time. Gave away an excellent opportunity for the visitors, but they dodged it, as Ty Keogh just mentioned. This is number 37 at the near post boards, Craig Childs. Banan Gabeljic. On the dribble, Gabeljic!
Pretty slick move.
He got in pretty deep, did number 33, Adnan Gabeljic.
Yeah, silky smooth skills and confidence on the dribble.
Pushing foul whistled up now by the referee, Shane Butler.
Yeah, behind the play, an Ambush player was being held.
Timeout whistled up by the head coach, Daryl Duran. Going to design something here with 6:28 remaining in this, the second quarter. As we've been doing our games, Ty, here in the Gateway Television Network, gradual improvement by the St. Louis Ambush.
Well, I like this. In the first quarter, in those closing 60 seconds of the first quarter, I mentioned we don't want to get into a wide open, high-scoring match with San Diego. There were 6 goals in the first quarter, and I projected 24 goals for the match. I said, we really don't want to see that.
No.
We'll be on the wrong end of that. How many goals have there been in this second quarter?
And according to what I've been running down here, is 0. So
Right.
that's the way you want it to stay.
I like what I'm seeing, the frustration level rising for the San Diego Sockers as the Ambush gain more confidence and look more disciplined defensively.
They certainly do. As we proceed in this season, as we mentioned, this is the 5th home game for the St. Louis Ambush. Their next home game is next Saturday, 7:35 games time. Against some visiting Missouri Comets. To close out the month of January, home games here at the Family Arena. The weekend of the 23rd and 24th of January, Friday, the Tulsa Revolution. Saturday, the 24th, against the Wichita B-52s. The Ambush enters tonight's game, Ty. They're 2-5. I don't think anybody's going to catch Missouri Comets. They are 9-0 unless they have an absolute Chernobyl-esque meltdown.
No, they'd have to have half the team, gets knee surgery.
Yeah, exactly. and we don't mean arthroscopic.
Reconstructive surgery.
6:28 remaining. The Ambush on top by a score of 4-2, and they will be playing with the man advantage. 2-minute penalty whistled up against the visiting San Diego Sockers. Elvir Kafedzic for number 5, Corey Dowell. We talked about the prolific left foot that number 5, Corey Dowell, has. In for Blake Gardell on the turn. Falls for Dowell. Cleared, but only momentarily. Dowell back for Elvil Kefedzic. Kefedzic at the tip of this organized goal-scoring unit with the man advantage. Blake Gardell just over the top of the crossbar. Rebounds all the way for Kefedzic. It's Richard Schmerman. Also has a prominent left foot. Here's Corey Dowell, just past the opposite post. Schmerman, yes, it's there on the rebound. Number 11, Richard Schmerman.
Schmerman ready to shoot without even thinking about it. That's what's critical here. He didn't have to get set. He was already thinking, what do I do if this ball comes to me? I'm going to hit it first time. And he didn't have to think. And this ball comes off the post, bang. And that's just good placement on the shot as well. It reminds me of a couple guys. Batistuta, when he played, he knew he was going to shoot no matter what. Yeah. And a guy named David Doyle, who played in the Major Indoor Soccer League years ago, same mentality. And if you're a striker, you got to have that mentality.
Especially in indoor. I mean, almost everything is on. Get forward and shoot, and that's exactly what Doyle did. But Schmerman, then you're right, Ty. He was waiting for a rebound, and he was going to hit it first time. San Diego down now by a score of 5-2. 5:22 remaining in the first half. The Ambush defending deep in their own half of the field. And Greg Crook on the eventual clearance, looking for O'Dane Sinclair. Chested down, keeps it nicely in a center circle. Eludes him, however, and San Diego gets forward. Matthias Kruger. Kruger attempts the shot, but coming up from behind is Corey Dowell to defend. A long clearance for Jeff DiMaria. Chested down, can he get a shot off? Coming back to defend and foul in the process was number 16, Eduardo Velez. And there's going to be another man advantage for the home side St. Louis Ambush.
Hey, it was a good early ball out of the back by Mattingly, and a great run by DiMaria. He shields the ball so well, he draws the penalty.
He draws his foul against the man in your screen right now, Eduardo Velez. He has 1 goal so far tonight for the Sockers, one of the 2. They trail 5-2. But as Ty just pointed out, great early ball out of the backfield to find DiMaria isolated. He was fouled by this man, Eduardo Velez. Another free kick scenario, another man advantage scenario for the home side Ambush.
Bill, another one. You remember Hector Marinero? He was a guy, shoot first, ask questions.
Shoot.
Yeah, any chance, take it.
Elvir Kefedzic for Corey Dowell. He can shoot from here, and he does. It was his rebounded shot just a moment ago that Ripper Schmerman capitalized on to make it 5-2. And here he is again. Schmerman on the ground at the near post looking for Forbes. Blake Gardell heads it down to the goalkeeper, Chris Toth. Long ball, Kefedzic heads it down. It went to Schmerman, now Dowell. Blake Gardell across the goal mouth. Rebounds all the way to the opposite post. Opposite point to Schmerman. Kefedzic.
Patience here by the Ambush. I like it.
Find the open man. He's available. You're playing with the extra person. Kefedzic doing a nice job at the tip of this formation. Manny Forbes for the Ambush. Toe pokes it just wide of the opposite post.
Well, he scored the first goal of the match from that bad angle. He's willing to give it a try again.
Kefedzic looking in deep, looking for Ardell. Instead finds Corey Dowell. Corey Dowell just almost capitalized for the Ambush. Good save by Toth. Kefedzic looks to send it in deep for Ardell. Can't quite do so. Raimundo Reza defending, but just momentarily. Schmerman digs it out, finds Kefedzic. 3:33 remaining. Ambush on top, 5-2. And the eventual clearance by Raimundo Reza. All the way to Greg Crook. 5-2, the Ambush on top. 3:20 remaining in the first half. This is Corey Dowell who can shoot from there. A blast from number 5. Corey Dowell, wonderful save by Chris Toth. Schmerman the opposite way with his left foot. Leaves it for Dowell again. Point blank range, right on target for number 5, Corey Dowell.
Dowell gets all of it. He gets all of his weight and momentum behind the ball every time he strikes it.
5 seconds, 4 seconds on the man advantage for the Ambush. Had plenty of opportunities Orchestrated very nicely by Elvira Kafedzic, who's leaving now. Change of players. Manny Forbes was trying to get off. Ball was played directly to the ground, right at his feet. Lost it on the dribble. Here's number 37, Craig Childs. Be careful of him in the open field. Keeps it nicely, does Childs, and finds Eduardo Velez. Just out of the penalty box is Velez. Good ball in the ground for Childs. Back to defend is Blake Ordell. Sockers now in possession. This is Velez. Chad Haggerty. Inside the center circle, they play it back to the goalkeeper, Chris Toth. Just about 2 minutes remaining. Ambush on top by a score of 5-2. Over the traveling and visiting San Diego Sockers. They were in Missouri last night to play against the Missouri Comets, losing that one eventually 10-7.
The Ambush, of course, up in Chicago last night, losing.
Had an opportunity. Derek Grant said we just gave some stupid mistakes away at the end, which resulted in goals for Chicago. Di Maria back to defend. Does just that. Coming out of his own backfield for Axel Duarte. San Diego digs it out, however. Another block shot, this time by Chris Mattingly. Greg Crook with the ball for the St. Louis Ambush. Long ball over the top of anyone. Looking for the speed of Manny Forbes. Somehow, someway, he gets to this ball and keeps it. Goes number 20, Manny Forbes.
A perfectly placed throw by Crook there. It landed just in front of the yellow line there. Otherwise, it would have been a three-line pass.
Forbes could use his body on that play.
Yep.
He did just that.
Yep.
Greg Crook again, this time on the ground. Adán Gabeljic, playing his very first professional soccer game. Played his intercollegiate soccer at St. Louis University, did number 33, Gabeljic.
He doesn't look nervous. He looks very composed on the ball.
And he's working both ways, going forward, getting back to help on the defense as well. Here's Corey Dow. Getting forward, couldn't quite get a shot off. Now he's back to defend. David Paul defending for the Ambush. Number 5, Anthony Medina. Just wide of the opposite post. There's Medina again. Can't turn. Kafedzic for Sinclair. Knocked back in from Dan Antoniuk. Dan Antoniuk looking after O'Dane Sinclair. That's a foul whistle up against Chad Vandergriff. The push in the open field. 3.6 seconds remaining. Craig Childs in the open field, and there goes the whistle to signify the end of the first half, with the St. Louis Ambush on top by a score of 5-2. Goals by Manny Forbes, Jeff Di Maria, O'Dane Sinclair, Elvira Kafedzic, and Richard Sherman. 5-2 at halftime, Ty.
Hey, this is good stuff. And remember, a tough defeat last night could have had the Ambush come out here kind of discouraged, with not the right attitude, with their heads down, because they gave away a lead to lose in Chicago last night. But instead, they've capitalized. As I mentioned in our open, when you're a player, you love playing the very next day after a loss because you have a chance to correct it and come out just 24 hours later with a different feeling inside that you've accomplished something. And the Ambush look very determined to make sure this is a win at home, and wins at home are critical.
Really critical. You only played 10 games at home. This is the 5th. That's Ty Keogh. I'm Bill McDermott. The score again at halftime is 5-2 in favor of the St. Louis Ambush, and we'll be back with the second half right after this.
Right, fires, goal! Shot, score! Through the yellow line, Doyle shot, he scores! Right, fires, goal! Shot, score! Through the yellow line, Doyle shot, he scores! Shot, oh, what a save!
And welcome back, everybody. We're at the St. Charles Family Arena, where the score is 5-2 in favor of the home side St. Louis Ambush over the visiting San Diego Sockers. I'm Bill McDermott, alongside his Ty Keogh. And Ty, this is the type of game you said you wanted to see, as opposed to being 10-8 at halftime.
Absolutely. The Ambush showed signs of being a more mature team, realizing what stage of the game they were in, the fact that they really didn't want to get into a high-scoring contest with this San Diego Sockers team, and instead created for themselves a second quarter where they scored the only goal of the quarter.
They've been playing much better as a team, as a solid unit. Adnan Gabeljich getting his first start as a professional, playing indoor here tonight for the St. Louis Ambush. So it's 5-2 as we begin the third quarter. 3 15-minute quarters. We're in the third right now. 4 15-minute quarters overall in MASL, Major Arena Soccer League. New league this year for the St. Louis Ambush. They lost last night in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, to the Chicago Mustangs, the reigning champs of this league. But right now, the Missouri Comets in the same division as your St. Louis Ambush, running away with everything. They're 9-0. And they'll be in town next Saturday night for our January 3rd contest with these same St. Louis Ambush players.
Well, that'll be a true test of the progress that we think we're seeing in this Ambush team, which I think we're pretty sure we're seeing. But to play against the Missouri Comets, it's a home game. You got to do well in those home games. And you know, I see the Ambush close this one out. I see the makings of maybe an upset on Saturday night here.
Possibly doing the Missouri Comets their very first loss of the year. In the third quarter, just at the outset of the third quarter, Dan Antoniuk, who played last year for the St. Louis Ambush, 17 games for the Ambush, as a matter of fact, misfired there. Breaks loose all the way to the goalkeeper from the San Diego Sockers. This is Chris Toth. We talked about him in the first and second quarters. Yes, that name should sound familiar to you as a fan of indoor soccer, outdoor soccer, San Diego Sockers soccer. His father, Zoltan Toth, very famous player indoors for the San Diego Sockers. He's just 25 years of his age, and head coach Phil Salvaggio said he could possibly be better than Zoltan. He's got a ways to go to be that tie, but so far so good. He seems calm, composed.
Zoltan's father, in other words, Chris's grandfather, played in Hungary as well in the 50s.
Mm-hmm. So the lineage is there for the Toth family. This is Manny Forbes in the open
all
field.
Goalkeepers,
yep.
too.
Mm-hmm. Forbes loses it on the dribble to number 24, Matthias Kruger. Kruger on the left point for the Sockers. Just underway here in the start of the third quarter. Foul whistled up against Axel Duarte. He's motioning to the referee, Doug Wolf, that he was elbowed from behind, but Doug Wolf has none of it. Doug Wolf and Shane Butler in charge tonight. Karen Swanner, charge major in the box in this game assigned by MASL. San Diego calm, composed, keeping the ball. Antoniuk back for Anthony Medina. Nick Pereira tries to find number 16, Eduardo Velez. Back to the goalkeeper, Chris Toth. Toth at his own yellow line. For Velez, he has one of the two tonight so far for the visiting Sockers. This is Matthias Kruger. Eduardo Velez from Tijuana. 8 goals, 9 assists so far to his credit in this current season. Greg Crook comes out of his own goal line, rebounds, and he cuts a ball out at the near post. And then on his own goal line, tremendous goalkeeping by Greg Crook.
Too much drama for me. He got caught out of position, but boy, did he react well.
At the near post and then on his own goal line from the goalkeeper, Greg Crook. Eduardo Velez. His shot blocked by Chad Vandergriff.
Vandergriff's blocked at least 3 or 4 shots in this match. 2 of them in that penalty man-down situation that the Ambush were able to kill off.
Greg Childs with that early shot. That goes just wide. Vandergriff again defending. He was on the MASL Team of the Week last week, number 21, Chad Vandergriff. Began his intercollegiate soccer career at SMU, finished up at St. Louis University. Played high school locally here in Chaminade. This is Craig Childs for the Sockers. Eduardo Velez. Pass Blake Gardell. Di Maria coming over to help out defensively.
That's something that is underestimated, how well Di Maria read that and came over to support as the second defender, because the initial move by the soccer attacker was excellent on the first defender.
Saw the pass coming and cut out early. O'Dane Sinclair for the ambush. Digs it out at the far corner. At the near post, covering up is the goalkeeper, Chris Toth.
This is a subtle difference here. Toth is a very good goalkeeper. He's excellent with his feet. He does not have the arm that Greg Crook has. And the arm of Greg Crook has helped create a couple of the goals tonight for the ambush.
The early balls out of the backfield. Derek Duran has oftentimes told me he wants his goalkeepers to look long first.
Yeah.
If it's on, play it.
And Crook is very accurate with those long throws, and he finds the runners.
Zé Roberto knocks it back to his goalkeeper on the headed clearance. Chris Toth back for Zé Roberto. Long ball looking for Pereira. Punch clear by Greg Crook. Again, good goalkeeping. Raimundo Reza. Foot clearance inadvertently by Greg Crook. I think he realized that himself.
Well, Pereira, he's a big guy, and that was a good punch as Crook came racing off of his line because he had to get over. Pereira is at they've got him listed at 6'3". He looks bigger than that. Number 77 for San Diego.
He's a good target man. Here's Elvir Kefedzic on the dribble in the open field. Good defending by the Sockers, initially by Raimundo Reyes. Manny Forbes. Adnan Gabelic. Gabelic drawing three defenders. Forbes comes over to help out. Breaks loose for Kefedzic. The two Bosnians on the same line together. Manny Forbes. Good initial touch to get behind that first defender. He follows in the process coming back.
Gabelic so smooth, using the sole of his foot on the dribble. And it's so deceptive and quick. He gets past defenders. He slips past them.
So Manny Forbes evidently said something to the referee, Shane Butler, after that play was over. Still pleading his case is number 20, Manny Forbes.
Unfortunately, it's the type of penalty where the ambush do not have to play shorthanded. It's just a disciplinary action to put Forbes himself can't enter the game for the next 2 minutes.
And he has to wait till the next guaranteed substitution after that.
Right.
Matthias Kruger sends along for Anthony Medina. Medina at the near post. Greg Crook off his goal line, alertly, quickly. Schmerman defensively out of his own backfield for Jeff DiMaria. Wasn't on to go forward. He kept it very nicely. Chad Vandergriff for the ambush. Out of the backfield on the ground for number 5, Corey Dow. DiMaria just joined late, but he started the play.
Very well-timed run by DiMaria to join, as you mentioned, late, a la Wayne Rooney. Appearing just in time as the attack develops.
Wait for it, then make your run. That's exactly what DiMaria did.
Ambush fortunate there to escape a 2-minute penalty, I thought.
Yeah. Looked to be a foul against Richard Schmerman.
That looked like Rampage in the mascot game.
By the way, this just in, Team Bushwhacker wins the mascot game at halftime 3-2 over Team Mac Attack. Rampage, the St. Louis Rams mascot, some of the wildest, literally tackling.
Fred Bird had made a couple good stops.
He did, yeah. So 3-2, Team Bushwhacker victorious. In the mascot game, if you haven't seen one of these, you have got to come out and watch one of them. Greg Crook now for the ambush, alertly again off his own goal line for Chad Vandergriff in the open field. On the team of the week last week, Vandergriff for O'Dane Sinclair. It's still alive in the penalty area. Sinclair can't quite get on the end of it.
Well, the ambush did it all right there. They just couldn't jam it in.
Excellent opportunity to get a 6th for the ambush. 7:58 remaining. On the Gateway Television Network, I'm Bill McDermott alongside his Ty Akio. We're at the St. Charles Family Arena, home venue for St. Louis Ambush Soccer. This 2014-15 season. This is Axel Duarte for Greg Crook. That goes out of play. It'll be a kick in for the Sockers. 7:37 remaining. As you can see, 5-2 the scoreline for the St. Louis Ambush. Goals by Manny Forbes, Jeff DiMaria, O'Dane Sinclair, Elvir Kefedzic, and the 5th by Richard Schmerman. And a 2-minute timeout. As we just talked about, score 5-2. And I think you brought up a good point just a moment ago, Ty, about the next home game for the St. Louis Ambush. You'll get a good idea where they stand when they play the Missouri Comets in their 6th of 10 home games next Saturday night.
They stand much better than what we saw very early in the season and from what we saw last year. This is a team that's starting to coalesce into a unit that supports and has confidence to close down a pretty good San Diego offense, which they did in that second quarter, and they have so far in this third quarter as well. You have to have confidence to be able to close down the opponents. But the big additions, Jeff DiMaria, huge. Gabeljic, now, he's showing right now he fits right in. He's another asset to this team. And you keep making additions like that, and you start seeing the leadership of Mattingly and the shots blocking of Vandergriff, the goalkeeping and the distribution of Greg Crook. You know, these are all pieces that have to be in place if you're going to be a successful team, and you start to get confidence and start to get victories at home as well. Ambush finally did that a couple weeks ago here, and they have a good chance here, I think, of closing this one out. They might need a couple more goals to do it, though.
Now back in play, the San Diego Soccer sent along. Chris Toth, the goalkeeper, looking for number 37, Craig Childs. He hasn't caught on yet this evening, but he has 18 goals, 5 assists, number 37, Craig Childs, so be wary of him at all times. Mattingly back to defend. At the near post, San Diego tries to force it in the person of number 87, Chad Haggerty. Breaks loose for Kafedzic. Pulls with the top of his shoe. Looking for DiMaria to look long. Breaks loose to the goalkeeper. Toth for Antoniuk. Now a long ball from the goalkeeper. Headed clear by Axel Duarte. Back to help out defensively was number 3, Gray Kranz. Gray Kranz, who played for St. Louis Scott Gallagher, high school soccer at CBC, then at Flo Valley, then went to Missouri Baptist. Number 3, Gray Kranz. Anan Gabeljic keeps it nicely. Toe poked off his foot by Zé Roberto. This is Craig Childs in the open field. His shot again blocked by Chad Vandergriff. Zé Roberto for the Sockers. Ambush come out of their own backfield. It's Corey Dow. He's got a blistering left foot from there. Pulls the top of his, oh yes! After pulling the top, he puts it into the opposite side netting on the same angle where Manny Forbes scored the very first goal of this game. Wonderful run out of his own backfield by number 5, Corey Dow.
Brilliant goal all the way around. First of all, he's got a couple of great moves to his left. In other words, to get himself the space to take the shot with the left foot. And what placement and power. But as he's going down that left-hand side, he made 2 excellent moves to his left. Really got the defender off balance. It's a deceptive move. So it's a brilliant move to his left foot to set up the scoring angle. A bad angle, but he still buries it.
So Corey Dow for the St. Louis Ambush, a brilliant run of his own backfield. Pulls with the sole of his shoe twice, puts it inside that opposite side netting after bodying off that last defender.
And there's something about players with the left foot.
You immediately
the move's more
catch
deceptive.
their note positively.
It seems like it's more. I mean, I don't want to call him Gareth Bale, but I mean, those were some quality moves to his left, and the shot, of course, was fantastic, which we've come to expect because he's got a great left foot.
He really does. He's very comfortable with that left foot. Number 5, Corey Dow gets a 6th of the evening for the St. Louis Ambush. This is Elvira Kafedzic, who's been solid so far this evening for the Ambush. Attempted through ball for Blake Ardell. Cut out by the San Diego defense in the person of their goalkeeper, Chris Toth. Kafedzic digs it out. Doesn't allow San Diego to clear it. Does number 9, Kafedzic. Good ball into the ground for DiMaria.
Well, we talked about frustrating San Diego. Now we almost see San Diego panicking a little bit. And that's the next stage. If you get them to panic, as they did just a moment, Toth at the top of his box gave the ball away, then you've got the upper hand, and the Ambush look like they do at this point.
And you get guys like number 77, usual target man, Nick Pereira, going all the way back to defending his own goal line.
Another sign of a little bit of panic,
Mercuriali. Number 23, Mike Mercuriali, back to his goalkeeper. Chris Toth in on the ground for the aforementioned number 77, Nick Pereira. Chad Vandergriff, good composure. Looked to send it long, then knocked it back to his goalkeeper. Runs all the way to the feet of number 23, Mercuriali. Back to his goalkeeper, Toth! A little too calm and composed on that particular play, but he got away with it. And the Sockers run forward again defensively. Momentarily defending was Greg Kranz. Number 9, just wide of the opposite post, was Cheeky Luna. Coming out of his own backfield on the dribble. Again, it's number 5, Corey Dow.
He wants to go to his left.
He's got that favorite left foot. He wants to shoot with that left. Defending was Raimundo Reza. Back to Chris Toth. A long ball cut out from Gabelich. Chris Toth for the San Diego Sockers. 4:11 remaining in this third quarter. The long toss for Craig Childs. Raimundo Reza. Reza in the center circle for the Sockers. They're down 6-2 to the home side ambush. Rebounding off the near post boards, way over the top of the crossbar. Kick in for the St. Louis ambush.
Ambush also, and this is a subtlety known only to the indoor game, and that is they did get caught earlier in the game with too many men on the field, but right now they're coordinating the changes, the switches, the changes on the fly.
Much smoother.
Keeping fresh guys on the field as well.
Which at one time, this San Diego Sockers team, they were the masters of those changes.
True.
Manny Forbes in the open field for the ambush. Back defending is Matthias Kruger. Nice job by him. Deep in his own backfield, it's Evan McNeely.
Now you're talking about Bronco Segota, Fernando Clavijo, Julie V, Steve Jungle, Hugo Perez.
They were prolific.
Yeah. And you mentioned Dana, Kaz Dana,
yeah,
who I got to play with for 2 seasons in San Diego in the outdoor league. Kaz Dana was a genius.
One of the best I've ever seen come over to play soccer in the United States after representing Poland at the 74 World Cup.
Yeah, 72 Olympic gold medalists as well, Poland with Kaz Dana as the captain.
Craig Crook cuts one out the near post. That blast coming in from number 20, Evan McNeely. All the way to the center circle.
Kaz Dana also in the movie Victory.
Victory, yes.
With Sylvester Stallone and Michael Caine.
Not saying that Kaz Dana's Liam Neeson, but there's McNeely now out of his own backfield at the left point. Off his foot by Kafedzic. Looking for Blake Gardell, who simply hides his face in his hands. He knows he should have received that.
He just didn't quite expect it, I guess. Should have expected it.
Craig Childs for the visiting Sockers. Back now for Velez. His shot just wide of the opposite post. Rebounds all the way to the left point. Jeff Hughes. And for Velez again. High, wide, and extremely unhandsome.
But those last 2 shots by Velez, they smack of desperation.
Uh-huh.
The first one wide by about 10 feet. From long range, and this other one was a total errant missile. Totally errant. So the ambush have San Diego where they want them. Let's see if the maturity that we've been talking about shows in terms of continuing to frustrate.
Because maturity, you're right. Maturity brings out the ability to close out home games. Long clearance from the goalkeeper, Toth. Headed down very alertly by Axel Duarte to his goalkeeper, Greg Crook. On the quick counter on the toss for Corey Dow. Toth. Vandergriff almost cut that out. Dan Antoniuk, former member of the St. Louis ambush now.
Well, Daryl Duran obviously knows what he's doing. Now he's starting to get the pieces of the puzzle that he needs.
Number 32 for the Sockers trying to get forward. It's Jeff Hughes. Zé Roberto for San Diego. Into the ground looking for Childs. Cleared by Kranz looking for Sinclair. Odae Sinclair gives everything a chase. Goes to the feet of number 5, Anthony Medina. San Diego now on a change. Mercuriali. Sends in for number 17, Raimundo Reza. Rebounds all the way to the goalkeeper, Chris Toth. Reza again inside the center circle. Nice ball into the ground for the target man, Pereira. Forbes cuts it out on the first touch for Sinclair. This is Chad Vandergriff. Long ball for Forbes with his speed immediately gets open in behind 2 defenders. He's making them play is Forbes. Sockers out of their own backfield.
Closing minute of the quarter. Again, very important psychologically to close this out. Don't want any momentum to shift towards San Diego.
Kabelich. Adnan tries to get forward on the dribble. Loses it eventually. Knocked back in from Chris Mattingly. Di Maria with the acrobatic attempt on a side volley. Rebounds for Kefedzic. Back to the feet of number 9, Elvir Kefedzic. Play the way you're facing. That's exactly what he did for his goalkeeper, Greg Crook. Back to the right wing corner flag. Nicely done by Eduardo Velez. Toth rebounds it off the near post boards directly to the feet of Di Maria. 5 seconds left. Can the Ambush manufacture a 7th out of this? And there goes the horn just at the conclusion of this, the third quarter. There'll be a 2-minute break. Then we'll start with the fourth quarter. There is number 33 making his home debut, pro debut tonight, Adnan Kabelich.
Yeah, he just got a 2-minute penalty as the buzzer
at
sounded.
the very end there, yep. So the Ambush begins this fourth and final quarter, playing with one less man. They're on top by a score of 6-2, and this is a real key moment for the St. Louis Ambush now. Can they put a prominent team away, a team that's leading the Pacific Division, the San Diego Sockers, with a 6-2 record? Can they put this team away at home and be convincing in the process?
Well, the first 2 minutes will set the stage. If the Ambush can kill off another penalty, as they did back in the first quarter. Was that early in the second quarter?
Mm-hmm. Second, yep, yep.
Then it sets the stage. But San Diego's a team you have to respect. They've had a lot of pedigree, a lot of history. A team that's performing well in that Western Division.
It's just amazing. In all versions of various indoor leagues, 14 championships for the San Diego Sockers.
Well, Ron Newman was the architect.
Oh, yeah.
But again, I played for Ron Newman. Great guy. Excellent eye for talent.
Yes.
Knew how to manage a team. I mean, really was a good man manager. He wasn't the guy that would run a great training session. It was kind of funny because our training sessions were sort of like, hey, let's see what happens. But when it came to win championships, you have to have everybody fitting in and pulling and playing to their strengths. And Newman knew how to kind of put those pieces together. And as you mentioned, he perfected. Now, Timo Liakowski started some of this in terms of, because Timo Liakowski had the Edmonton Drillers team in the North American Soccer League that won an indoor championship. And I think Ron Newman studied that. Timo Liakowski was from Finland, as you know, and had played on Finland's national youth ice hockey team. So he understood power plays, set pieces on these types of dimensions, and changing on the fly, substituting.
And that Timo did so well, Ty, with the Cleveland Forest teams.
Yeah. So those guys, Timo Liakowski, Ron Newman, I think were the real trailblazers in terms of developing and stealing, really, from ice hockey, tactics and quick changes. And remember, Jungle always just gaining the length of the bench. What is it, about 8 yards maybe?
Exactly. Yep.
Of advantage when the ball changed hands and the counterattack was on. They'd have an attacking player going from that end of the bench closer to the goal they were attacking.
And you know, a guy like Ron Newman has to be happy. He started with the Kansas City and the inaugural franchise in '96 in MLS. Now to see Sporting Kansas City doing so well. Timo Liakowski, likewise, after his stint with the Cleveland Force, was he and Sigi Schmidt were Bor Milutinovic assistants at the '94 World Cup.
Right.
Then Timo goes with the Columbus Crew, and they did well there. So these are the types of people who continue and started and still continue the lineage of great characters, people who knew the sport, staying involved in soccer in the United States.
Well, they love the sport, and they put so much into it. True passion for the game, and really all of them, these guys that came in gave so much. really cared about the players as well. They wanted, and they cared about the fans. They wanted to produce something that was an entertaining product. Because that's one thing. The teams I played for in San Diego, you know, we came out to attack.
Oh, positively.
and the fans loved it. We had a great following. We had players like Hugo Sanchez, Leonardo Cuellar, the aforementioned Julie V, and Kaz Dana. I mean, those were wonderful attacking players. Gene Wilrich, Yilmaz Orhan. Manu Sanon, the Haitian sensation.
Yes, And you mentioned earlier one of my all-time favorites for the San Diego Sockers, the United States national team, Hugo Perez.
Hugo Perez, what a left foot.
Wonderful player. All right, at the very outset here of the fourth quarter, the Ambush will indeed begin it playing short-handed. The San Diego Sockers now trying to come from behind. They're behind by the score of 6-2. Home side Ambush on top. San Diego has the man advantage. Target man's number 77, Nick Pereira. He will stay inside that penalty area. They'll play a ball into his feet if they can. That's Jeff Hughes. Number 9, Roberto, and yes, there it is. Early in the power play, number 37, Craig Childs scores his 19th of the year. You said a key element, Ty, would be these first 2 minutes. Can they close out the penalty situation? They did not do that. Now the score looms at 6-3 in favor of the home side Ambush.
Well, fortunately, the cushion was 4 goals. With 3, you still got a bit of breathing room, but you have to make sure that you employ tactics similar to the second and third quarters where you really frustrate San Diego.
That early shot coming in from number 37, Craig Childs. We talked about his prowess inside the penalty area. You saw evidence of it just there. 6-3 now for the Ambush. 14 minutes remaining in this, the fourth and final quarter. Chris Toth, the goalkeeper. To the left point player, Eduardo Velez. Long for number 77, Nick Pereira. Back for Velez. Will he shoot from here? Yes, he does. Wide of the near post. And then wide, very wide on the rebound by number 16, Eduardo Velez.
The big number 77 for San Diego, Nick Pereira. Not too many blonde Pereiras.
No, there's not.
Around, but he is dominant. He's so strong on the ball, and he's got a good first touch as well. He keeps it in a shielded position.
Yeah. Another local player from the San Diego area, number 77, Nick Pereira. Long ball out of their own backfield by number 17, Raimundo Reza. Looking for Pereira. He tried to knock it sideways. Ambush defending it, falls directly to the feet of number 5, Anthony Medina. Yes, Pereira out on the left point now as opposed to inside the penalty area. Raimundo Reza for Pereira on the turn, just wide. Good turn from number 77, Nick Pereira. Elvir Kefejic, wonderful ball to find the open person. His fellow Bosnian, Adnan Gablic, at that right wing corner flag. From Annie Forbes back to Kefedzic. This is Chad Vandergriff. Lets it roll just outside the center circle. Number 21, Vandergriff.
Well, Gablic might want to atone for the penalty, which was kind of a senseless penalty right at the end of that third quarter.
Vandergriff with another nice play for the goalkeeper. And Gablic looking for Kefedzic. Two Bosnians on at the same time. Adnan just exits. Elvira stays on. .32 remaining. Sockers back defending. This is number 20, Evan McNeely. To the goalkeeper, Toth. Long ball looking for Childs. Axel Duarte back defending for the Ambush. Kicking for the Sockers. Wolf getting the allotted space between the ball striker and the last defender. Off the foot of Matthias Kruger, I think inadvertently, but nonetheless into the hands of the goalkeeper, Greg Crook.
Yeah, fortunate deflection.
Tried to find O'Dane Sinclair, couldn't quite do so. Here's Anthony Medina for the Sockers.
Pressure pays off.
Exactly.
The ambush really putting some high pressure on and forcing San Diego to panic a little bit, and gives the possession back to the ambush.
At the tip of the penalty area after that last clearance from Evan McNeely. Important stage of the contest, especially this fourth and final quarter. DiMaria. And is oftentimes the case, Gerald Duran wants to call a timeout. Make something really proficient perhaps happen with this.
Oh, yeah. They will orchestrate. And you know that Darryl in the practices, team practices, goes over these time again, because they end up being pivotal in tight situations. I would only call this a tight situation with a 3-goal lead because San Diego is that prolific of a goal-scoring team.
6-3, 11:56 remaining. Ambush next home game, we talked about this, is next Saturday night, the 3rd of January, to begin 2015, against a terribly difficult team, the Missouri Comets, on top in the Central Division. They're 9-0. Baltimore leads the Eastern Division, prolific in their own right. Ty, they're 8-0 to begin this close to the beginning of 2015. Monterey on top in the Southern Division. They're 9-1. Closely followed by Dallas, 8-2, coached by the effervescent Tattoo. San Diego, we mentioned, on top of the Pacific Division. They're 6-2.
Well, the Missouri Comets coming here to the St. Charles Family Arena on this Saturday night, January 3rd, the premier team in this league. Worth buying a ticket for. See what they've got. The team's 9-0. You got to see what they got.
Positively.
They must be doing something right.
Good ball on the ground from Kefedzic. He was looking for Richard Schmerman. Quick on the break of San Diego. Blast just wide of that near post. Struck superbly.
So the ambush have been a little bit fortunate, I think, on some of the chances by San Diego missing by just inches. Remember, San Diego played last night as well.
They played against those Missouri Comets, losing 10-7. Corey Dowell from the ambush now. After that last shot from Mike Mercuriali. Jeff DiMaria for David Paul. This is what to do. Keep the ball away from the opposition. Inadvertently hit Jeff DiMaria in the back heel. There's Elvir Kefedzic in the open field on the dribble. Number 9, Kefedzic! Saved by Chris Toth.
Good move, and he hit it well.
Manny Forbes digs this ball out of the near post for Blake Gardell for Kefedzic. Good work from Manny Forbes. He's always around the ball, isn't he, Ty?
He hustles, he scraps, he's willing to fight and win that loose ball in the corner. He's a grinder.
Number 20, Manny Forbes. Played in the NPSL for the Georgia Revolution. He's from Panama. Gerald Duran told me prior to the first game, once he really gets a feel for this indoor game, he's going to be troublesome for the opposition. He's proven to be just that. He opened the scoring tonight for the ambush. Chad Vandergriff defending against Pereira. Greg Crook with no difficulty on a save like that.
Yeah, he's not going to give up too many goals from that range. It was a good effort by Pereira, good moves in fact, but not enough to bother Crook.
Chad Vandergriff for the ambush now. For Greg Crook off his own goal line. Long clearance, attempted flick on by number 5, Corey Dowell. And that almost materialized. Adnan Gablic on the dribble, on the turn. Adnan on the shot! Adnan Gablic! Oh my! On the turn, what a blast! The Bosnian bomber, number 33, Gablic.
That one was sizzling. He makes up for what I thought was a dumb penalty at the end of the third quarter. Look at this. Nice turn. And this is long range. He gets all of it. That ball is smoking and sizzling. On the way in, just about broke the net.
There's nobody making that. There could have been 3 goalkeepers in there. It wouldn't have been a save. Good work from Gablic, who for 4 years at St. Louis University was Adnan Gabelich, but has turned into Gabelich tonight. Okay, Adnan, whatever you like. Say Roberto for the San Diego Sockers. Medina couldn't head it in. Kefedzic attempts the clearance, goes out of play.
Bill, that reminds me of Tab Ramos. I was calling him Ramos because I want to be Ramos.
Ramos,
I'm American.
yeah.
I want to be American.
Uh-huh.
So then for about 10 years, I called him Ramos, and then now he's Ramos again.
Exactly. Now that he's coaching one of the national teams and still involved with Jurgen Klinsmann, he's Tab Ramos.
Ramos,
Whatever.
Yeah, you say potato, I say potato.
7-3 now for the ambush. Adnan Gabelich with a superlative goal. One-on-one with that last defender was number 12, O'Dane Sinclair.
Well, they were both using their arms.
Mm-hmm.
Sinclair's just stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets the call against him.
6'2", 205, number 12, O'Dane Sinclair. Conspicuous by his absence tonight, Stefan St. Louis. Carol Duran and Joseph Magala said simply, coach's decision.
Also Ross McGregor.
Exactly. Who had been playing superbly for the ambush.
Yeah. So the ambush pull off a result here without two pretty good players.
Two real
there.
solid players,
Yeah.
yes. Blake Gardell for Axel Duarte. Elvir Kefedzic, who's been very active in his central part of the field this evening for the ambush. Blake Gardell for the ambush. He's got Forbes square. Takes on that last defender.
Yeah, he should have seen Forbes sooner.
Yeah. Draws a foul in the process. Does Blake Gardell. Ambush gets it on a free kick.
Yeah, Forbes had made a great run.
Mm-hmm.
Was in a tremendous position to finish. Gardell didn't look up soon enough, but did manage to get the call there.
Kefedzic now for the ambush. Forbes or Duarte had an opportunity to hit that first time. It just went over the top of both of them. Another free kick for the ambush.
Well, that last goal for the ambush, that's goal of the year. Should be on the reel.
Yes, for sure.
And particularly, it does give the ambush again a little bit of breathing room. The pressure's off to some degree.
7-3 now for the ambush. Axel Duarte plays Kefedzic. Don't go into that block ball. He wins it nonetheless. Manny Forbes now for the ambush.
Well, he's fun to watch.
Always available. Non-stop worker is number 20, Forbes. Blake Ardell kept this ball alive. Very nicely done from Ardell. Now San Diego. Chiqui Luna.
Tell you what, tough road trip for San Diego if they're not able to pull something out of this one. They've only got about 8 minutes to go.
Chiqui Luna for the Sockers. Dan Antoniuk up from the left flank.
Di Maria covering well.
Gabelich. Back to his goalkeeper, Greg Crook. Falls to the feet of Chiqui Luna. San Diego trying to get back into this game. 7:50 remaining. They trail by 4. Pereira. 2 step overs at the near post. Rebounds directly to the hands of Greg Crook. The immediate outlet. He was looking for Corey Dow. Jeff Dreameria also forward for the ambush. Picking up a little bit higher now, Dreameria and Corey Dow. Chiqui Luna for Craig Childs. Intercepted by Dreameria. The early ball for Dahl. Vandergriff out of his own backfield. Chad Vandergriff keeps it on the dribble. Very nice, calm, and composed for number 21, Vandergriff. Schmerman on the dribble. Forbes in the open field. He's dangerous here. Good ball for Schmerman. Rebounds off the near post boards. Good running by Manny Forbes. Yep.
Ambush do a good job of getting players behind the ball immediately.
Immediately.
Four guys
They really did. As quickly as Manny Forbes got forward, he got back.
This is a more disciplined St. Louis ambush team, no question.
No question, Ty. Totally different in the way they're playing. Axel Duarte now for the ambush. He wins the foul in the process from Anthony Medina. Be a free kick for the ambush. 6:38 remaining. 7-3 in favor of the home side. Ambush tonight looking for their 3rd victory. They would go to 3-5.
Well, Bill, we talked about it at the top of the last telecast here. starting to win home games, starting to gain confidence, being able to close out games. These are all signs of a team that is maturing. We're seeing it here. The fact that they were able to come out and beat Chicago in that match. I'm sorry, beat Detroit. That gives them a lot of confidence here, I think, to be able to do it again.
And seemingly in convincing fashion against the San Diego Sockers.
There's quite a bit of time left.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The clock more and more becomes an ally of the ambush.
O'Day and Sinclair cut that last ball out, was one-on-one until Evan McNeely came over to defend. Toth back to McNeely. Toth out of his own backfield. Eduardo Velez. And the goalkeeper, number 31, Chris Toth, wants to call a timeout. 5:57, just under 6 minutes remaining in this, the fourth and final quarter. Toth talks over with number 20, Evan McNeely. Well, they wouldn't entertain going to a sixth attacker already, would they, Ty? Well, perhaps they would. They're on the road, looking for a win. Don't want to lose 2 games in a row. And it looks like in the bottom right hand of our screen, it looked like number 32, Jeff Hughes, was going to don that sixth attacker shirt.
At least he's ready to jump on there.
Yep.
But for ambush fans, mark down December 13th. Bill, the last time you and I were here, the ambush get their home victory. They close out a game. We talked about it at the top of that game, how important it was to start to get some momentum.
Yes.
Remember, it was 12, 13, 14.
You said the stars were all going to line up, and they did.
Here we're seeing it. We're seeing a progression of that. We're seeing that momentum. We're seeing that confidence. We're seeing a maturation process, and we're adding players. Jeff DiMaria joined, at least for the home fans, that night.
Yes.
That was one piece. We're seeing another piece here. Gavelchik, I think, has something to do with the overall success tonight, although it was his penalty that allowed the San Diego Sockers to score their only goal of this half.
So be wary now as San Diego comes out with that extra attacker. The field player is number 32, Jeff Hughes. He has the number 1 goalkeeper shirt on right now. 7-3, just under 6 minutes remaining. St. Louis ambush.
Well, this is desperation for San Diego.
DiMaria immediately cuts out the first pass, coming from the goalkeeper, Jeff Hughes. Forbes, shot, a blast coming in for number 6, Chris Mattingly. DiMaria tries to dig that out off his own goal line. Whoa! Cheeky Luna off his own goal line.
Yeah, Hughes with a near own goal. He's wearing the orange jersey.
So the first foray.
And he had to make a stop right
yes,
away.
He did.
And he's not wearing gloves. I
mean,
I bet his hands are stinging.
Now in his free kick formation for the St. Louis ambush, the regular goalkeeper, Chris Toth, back in goal right now. And he makes a magnificent save. Dead ball struck by number 9, Avila Kefedzic, who's been solid all night for the St. Louis ambush. Much more of a presence in the center of the field.
Big-time stop by Toth.
That was. He exits the field now, does Toth. Back on, number 32, Jeff Hughes, the extra attacker. 5:23 remaining. Ambush on top by a score of 7-3. This would be their third victory of the year. That shot goes way high from Cheeky Luna. 3-5 they would be at the conclusion of this game.
And their second consecutive home victory.
Blake Gardell, he's clearly fouled from behind by number 16, Eduardo Velez, and he'll be sent off. And there'll be a free kick, penalty kick, and a shootout. And there is number 16, Eduardo Velez, pulling down that last offensive player, getting forward, Kefedzic. He knows it immediately, shakes his head to the fans assembled here at the Family Arena. Ty Keogh's with me. I'm Bill McDermott. This is St. Louis Ambush Soccer on the Gateway Television Network. We're going to have a shootout attempt now by number 21, Chad Vandergriff, who's played superbly all night long defensively for the ambush. It's one-on-one. Chad Vandergriff with the goalkeeper, Toth. Chad Vandergriff! Vandergriff with his right foot this time. He's normally a left-footed player, but number 21, Vandergriff gives the Ambush an eighth of the evening against the San Diego Sockers. They now lead 8-3, the St. Louis Ambush.
Vandergriff makes it look very easy. Pressure was coming. Perfect placement, enough deception to get Toth to go down. And then he just bends it towards that opposite post. And that gives the Ambush almost a certain victory here. You got to win your home games. The Ambush were 0-2 in their first home games against Milwaukee. Now they look to have won 2 in a row here at home and gain enough confidence maybe to be a bother to the Missouri Comets.
Exactly. That's
Saturday night here at the Family Arena.
In a Central Division match. Comets on top of that division, 9-0. We've talked about that endlessly. They've been prolific. Ray Crook off his own goal line for Axel Duarte. 4:30 remaining. Ordain Sinclair tried to play it out of his own backfield. The 1-2 with Di Maria.
Di Maria, so intelligent with his off-the-ball running.
Yep.
Playing the ball in to Sinclair, immediately looking for the return pass.
San Diego now on the free kick. That goes well high by number 37, Craig Childs. Uncustomarily so by number 37, Craig Childs.
Well, maybe it's just an off night for San Diego, but I'm losing a little bit of respect for that Western division.
Exactly. Kafedzic.
When you think about it, this part of the country, you've got Milwaukee. That's an excellent team. Obviously, the Missouri Comets are as well.
San Diego comes in tonight. Tiber's referring to the Pacific Division. They're on top 6-2. Just one game out of first place in Pacific is Ontario. They're 6-4. The Missouri Comets 9-0, ruling the roost in the Central Division. As are the Baltimore Blast. They're 8-0 in the Eastern Division. Monterey leads the Southern Division 9-1. Just under 4 minutes remaining. San Diego trying to get back in this game with the extra attacker. It is Jeff Hughes. He's got that orange attacker shirt on, wearing number 1. Right now he has the ball at his feet. Cheeky Luna for the San Diego Sockers. Greg Crook against number 20 in tight spaces. He's fouled once, twice, 3 times.
The wrestling match.
We're going to keep playing. Pereira back for Cheeky Luna. Holding foul whistled up by Doug Wolf. Be a free kick at the top of the penalty area arc. There's Shane Butler in the foreground and Doug Wolf are on the field. Karen Swanner, George Major in the penalty area box. Cheeky Luna. Ooh, against the wall. Pick out a face, see who's bravest. This time it was number 9, Elvira Kafedzic. McNeely. Shot of his own just wide of the opposite post. Blake Gardell almost defends. San Diego keeps it with the extra attacker. 3 minutes left. Ambush on top by a score of 8-3. Here's the extra attacker, Jeff Hughes. Eduardo Velez. Crook leaves her from Mattingly. Kafedzic. Nice little through ball for the captain, number 6, Chris Mattingly. Coming over to defend is Nick Pereira. San Diego trying to get a fourth with the extra man. Cheeky Luna, Pereira. Jeff Hughes. Kafedzic in the 50-50 ball. It breaks loose for Ordain Sinclair, but only momentarily. Cheeky Luna for Craig Childs. Childs at the yellow line with the toe poke. Just past the opposite post. Quick release from number 37, Craig Childs. Rebounds all the way back to the extra man. Then on the clearance from number 6, Chris Mattingly. 2:05 remaining. Jeff Hughes for the Soccer. Cheeky Luna gets a face to the crossbar and goes wide.
San Diego has not been that far off on many shots.
Yeah.
I mean, and they are, to me, easily a better team than the Detroit team that we saw here on December 13th. So, to me, a win against the San Diego team is much more significant for the Ambush than that last home victory.
Without question. Guys referring to the Detroit Waza Flow.
Yeah, this is a better team than Detroit.
Detroit goes into tonight's action. They're 3-8 in the Eastern Division, which is led by Baltimore. Jose Roberto. His shot headed clear by Richard Schmerman. Kick in at the right wing corner flag.
I got a feeling the San Diego team's a little better than they've shown tonight. They've been a little bit unlucky, but mark it down to the ambush.
Yes.
Yeah, hustling, scrapping, fighting, and really battling as a team.
Missing one of their key players, Ney. Where's number 11? He sprained his ankle last night, playing in the match against the Missouri Comets. Just about 1 minute remaining. Gabelic chasing against number 8, Zé Roberto, the Brazilian. Pereira. The target man for the Sockers turns at the near post, fires it just wide. Less than a minute now. The ambush on top by a score of 8-3. Jose Roberto for the Sockers. Rebounds all the way to number 16, David Paul. Jose Roberto back for Pereira. San Diego at least looking for a consolation goal. Going down hard there was number 11, Richard Schmerman.
Yeah, he caught a pretty good forearm.
Yes, he did. Yep. Schmerman, who made it 5-2 at halftime. That was our score at halftime. He got the 5th goal of the evening for the St. Louis Ambush. Schmerman in your foreground. That's the goalkeeper, Greg Crook, to his left. Schmerman seems to be okay with 33 seconds remaining. 8-3 in favor of the home side Ambush over the visiting San Diego Sockers. Long clearance from Greg Crook, looking for Vandegrift. Falls for Pereira.
Another
Duarte defending and fouling, but nonetheless play on, says the referee. Pereira for Velez. Greg Childs joining the 6th attacker. There's Jeff Hughes. 11 seconds. 10 seconds off the face of the crossbar. Childs says it bounced over the goal line. It did not. Long toss by the goalkeeper, Greg Crook. Cut out by Jeff Hughes. And there goes the final whistle. And that is the final result. 8-3 for home side St. Louis Ambush. They now go to 3-5, and they win their 2nd home game in a row, Tyke.
And they deserved it.
Yes, positively.
I think they outfought the San Diego Sockers. I think they had another important and dominating performance by their goalkeeper, Greg Crook. His distribution flawless. His ability to get off his line, punch balls away, phenomenal. He had a lot of help out in front. I mean, Mattingly, Vandegrift must have stopped 7 shots himself. Shot blocking was fantastic for the Ambush as well. And the Ambush use additions to the puzzle, pieces of the puzzle coming in. They have a strong goalkeeper already. They have good, experienced defenders like Vandegrift and Mattingly and a couple others that were blocking shots. But to bring in Jeff DiMaria a few weeks ago, huge in terms of maturity, stability in the team. And now another Bosnian comes in and really shows he can play at this level. No problem. His first professional match, Gabelic, with some really good assists and what a goal.
And Elvil Kefedzic played superbly tonight alongside of Gabelic, but a beautiful goal by number 33, Adnan Gabelic. Well, the final was 8-3 for Tyke. I'm Bill McDermott. Join us again next Saturday night. As the visiting Missouri Comets come into town, they bring their 9-0 record. They lead the Central Division. Again, the final 8-3 in favor of the Ambush. And good night, everyone, from the Family Arena in St. Charles Arena.